Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my 5 favourite base brushes with you all. I want to keep this video really short, sweet and informative, so let's get started. The first one is the Morphe E6 brush. This costs £17 and it's basically a flat buffer brush, and the reason why I really like it is because you can easily apply foundation very quickly. So it's really good for when you're in a bit of a rush, and it blends out foundation really well. It has synthetic bristles, which means that it doesn't soak up too much product, and it also doesn't leave a lot of brush streaks, and you can either buff it in or you can stipple it on, and depending on what kind of coverage you want. So yeah, I really like this. It's the most pricey brush in my collection. £17 is quite a lot of money, but it's very sturdy, very well built, and I think it's going to last me a good few years, so it's worth the investment. The second foundation brush that I really like is the e.l.f. foundation blurring brush. Now on my handle here it says foundation blurring brush, but I believe this is like the flawless finish brush. I'll leave it below anyway, but this is quite a bit smaller than the Morphe E6 brush, as you can see, and it's got a different shape. So whilst this was a flat buffer brush, this is more of a rounded domed buffing brush, similar to the original Real Techniques one, but the reason why I like this more than the Real Techniques one is because it's actually more precise and it's a little bit more tapered. So I find that I can really get into the nooks and crannies of the face quite easily with this, and it applies foundation really beautifully. Now it only costs £7.50, which is such a huge bargain in my eyes, and I would definitely pick up another one of these. I really like how easy it is to wash. I like how easy it is to apply cream or powder or liquid products as well, and it's just really great. It's made out of plastic, so it's obviously cheaper than something like this, which is made out of wood, but it does the job really well, so I definitely recommend this one. The next brush is a Lisa Eldridge favourite. It's the Zoeva 110 face shape brush, and it looks like this. This brush costs £11, and Zoeva is more on the pricey side of makeup brushes. It's not as pricey as bigger brands out there, so it's kind of like in the middle, I would say, whereas e.l.f. is like very budget and Morphe is pretty budget as well. So anyway, this brush is beautiful. It's one that Lisa Eldridge uses on a regular basis because the brush head is so small, and she always uses it to apply foundation, and then she can be really precise with where she's applying her foundation and make sure that wherever she's applying it, it's really blending in well and properly. Nearly every single one of her videos, whether it's on a celebrity or it's on herself, she is using this brush, and it does take a bit longer to do your whole base if you use this, but you are left with that really flawless, beautiful finish. So if you've got a bit more time, I definitely recommend using this. And it's also pretty good for buffing in cream contour as well, because they're very densely packed bristles, and it's also good for concealer. So it's a very multi-purpose brush, and it's very well made as well. It's made out of wood and metal, and I've had this for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and it's still going really strong and washing really well. Next up we have the Morphe E8 brush. Now this one is similar to the face shape brush. Their heads are very similar sizes. The only thing is this one's a little bit more fluffy. So this is actually designed for contouring, and I agree, I think it does work really well as a contour brush, either with cream or liquid products. But I also really like this for blending out concealer and also blending out foundation. If I have more time, I like to use this brush to really buff in my foundation, because the bristles are like densely packed here and then they're a bit fluffy on the edges, so they just work really well to give you that airbrush look. This brush only costs £7, so I think it's really worth it. I actually would pick up a backup of this. And my final face-based brush is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. This is the cheapest of the bunch. It's £4.50. It's also the smallest as well, and it's similar to the last one I just spoke about, although this one's smaller. So the bristles on the e.l.f. one are shorter, and they're a little bit more dense, but it's still fluffy enough to blend product out. I really like this brush for days where I'm not wearing foundation and I just want to do a bit of spot concealing, or I'm just trying to actually conceal over some blemishes, because I can just pick up products, pack it on top, and it doesn't move it around. It just packs on exactly where I want it to. It's also good for blending out as well though, so this is a really great brush, and again I have got a backup of this because I do use it quite often. It's amazing, and for less than a fiver you can't go wrong. I hope you found that video helpful, and if you use any of these brushes, let me know, and if you don't and you have any of your other favourites, then also write that in the comments below. I'd be interested to find out what they are. And thanks so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit subscribe. Bye!